Jessy froze up again.
No, I don't know if she did. If she did, she'll come back. It's okay. We are broadcasting live from the Closet of Doom, and I've noticed that I look significantly darker and scarier than everybody else just because I've got the funny lighting and everybody else has the sun. Hi, welcome to the Sunshine State Happy Hour, powered by Florida Beer Blog and Florida Beer Media. This is Dave, your host and author. Got kind of a fun show for everybody today. Steve, how are you doing this fine afternoon?
I'll be better once I take a drink of this beer.
Tough day outside working? He's drinking, so I'll say yes. Well, you're going to be drinking a lot of beer today, so because we have the Chuggers Facebook group on our show. It is there goes Jessy. She'll be back soon, I promise you. This is a Facebook group that on its face looks like it's devoted specifically to chugging beer, but as you're about to find out, it's actually a lot more, and I'm kind of enjoying my membership with the group. So we are going to chat with a couple of their members, including founders. I will just go ahead and let you introduce yourselves and kind of what you're drinking today, because I want to chat about that a little bit for several reasons.
All right. So my name is Rob. Me, myself, Jeremy, and Topher, the three of us were in a little chugging group that was based out of Northeast United States somewhere. And, it was just full of drama and BS, and we just didn't want to have anything to do with it, so we left. And the three of us were talking one day, and we're like, hey, what the hell, man, let's just make one. Jeremy works in the beer industry. I know a lot of people. Topher knows a lot of people. So we just built it. And we did build it with the premise around chugging beer. We want to make craft beer fun again. And, it is, like you said, it's not just that anymore. People are now, we're over 5,000 members. People are using Chuggers as their personal blog page nowadays. I mean, they have a shitty day at work. They come in, they sit there and do a 2-minute chug video crying about all the headaches that they went through today, and they end with a chug. And some people are chugging wine. Some people are doing shots. Some people are doing whatever they want. And, some people are chugging water if they're trying to cut back on their alcohol use, or alcohol abuse, I should say. They switch over to hydration chugs. So, there's a lot of people that leave Chuggers and 2 weeks later, they're right back in. It's a fun group. It's really become more of a family than anything. And I know you mentioned what we're drinking today.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's kind of what you mentioned is, and I know that Rob, you're doing Jeremy, you're doing hydration right now. It's not specifically about beer. It became more about, I guess, the cultural meaning behind chugging. So I kind of wanted to chat about that because I know you're not the first one to be doing this since I have joined the group.
No, so I mean, I know that Jessy and probably Chris is in the industry as well. I mean, we tend to drink a lot, and sometimes you just need to take a break, and we encourage it, especially from the group perspective. Like Rob said, I mean, we were in a previous chug group, and what happened is I was taking the Cicerone exam. I used to work for Anheuser-Busch.
Your pepperoni, it had to come up, right?
He's going to make fun of it.
Pepperoni.
So I was taking the Cicerone exam in St. Louis, and it's exhausting trying every single beer style and all that stuff. And I just went downstairs to the AB bar they have downstairs, and I just said, just give me like a natural light. And I just chugged it and I filmed it, sent it to these guys, and that kind of was like, dude, we just need to start our own thing. Just because, like, that other group that we were in, had I chugged a natural light or a Busch Light, they flat out would have been. I mean, they would have probably just erased the video. They were just so snob, and we didn't really want that. We wanted a group where, I don't care what you chug, just chug a beer. I mean, we have people chugging. I mean, I know Chris and I are Busch Light fans. But I mean, I've snorkeled at Goose Island, Bourbon County Rare.
Been there.
So I mean,
okay,
yeah, you chug what you want.
It's funny because, yeah, exactly. And I know that Jeremy, obviously, you're in the industry, so you have access to good stuff. And I've always found it interesting that Jessy, you obviously not only are you a brewer, you've got the tanks behind you, but most of the time it's Miller that's going down.
Oh yeah, I'm balling on a budget.
All out on a live blog.
You just learned industry.
I would love to chug craft beer all the time, and obviously I have access to craft beer all the time. sometimes you just want to chug good old nice cold Miller Lite every once in a while, or every day, whichever one.
But it's the industry truth, man. Like people will sit there and they'll be like, "Oh, Anheuser-Busch" or "Oh, Miller," but honestly, if you talk to people in the industry, they're either gonna have a Miller High Life, Miller Light, Busch Light. We get down, man, and we don't care.
And I was going to say, Chris, you out of everybody, you've kind of got the biggest glass. I'm not even going to talk about beard size because I feel sort of inadequate compared to the rest of you. Jessy, no offense. What do you have going on in that beautiful glass of yours?
I started the apple mango Bow 9 from Bo Egan's and Castleberry.
Nice.
Good people up solid beers. Part of the Central Florida beer. So, this week round.
Is that on his end?
Might be on his end. We're having a little difficulty hearing you, Chris. We'll try again.
Could be.
All right.
No problem.
Okay. I love watching it on the phone. Hey, it's perfectly fine by me. Steve, I may as well throw it to you just for a few seconds while Chris works on this. Hopefully we will get the audio back up. And Jessy left again. So, Steve, what do you have? Yeah, I know, exactly.
So today we're going for the Funkworks Wild #1.
Hey, Steve, just to let you know, technically the owner of Funkworks is in Chuggers.
Really?
Yeah, we went to the same high school, man. So
That's
we were
awesome.
years apart, but we were both military brats and went to Lejeune. So we ended up meeting up via Facebook that way. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Beer is phenomenal.
Nice.
Sweet,
No,
sour,
that's-
light, good for a hot day. So you can work
I was-
outside.
I was going to ask for Steve, what branch were you in?
I wasn't in. My dad was. My dad was a Marine.
Nice. And then, I heard that. So I think Chris's audio is back.
It might be. If it fades in and out, either or blame space. I'm not entirely sure which. So.
But you were talking about Bo Egan's, and I know they've had some, especially for Central Florida. I've been able to be fortunate to try a couple of the beers, which is excellent. I don't know, Steve, if you've had them yet or not. But what were you drinking from them? I do apologize.
This one they just released, I think last week. Pineapple mango version of their Bow 9 pale ale. Super clean, 6.5%, easy to kill it. Like most of their stuff, I mean, it's easy to kill. So, if Bobby, if you're watching, Colossus, where we at?
And it looks like Jessy is now in her office.
No. Sorry, my internet connection sucked back there, and I just got tired of it. Sorry about that.
That's funny. We were just going through a scene. I'm going to end up with Rob because Rob, I definitely have to talk about, especially since Jeremy's wearing the shirt for the beer that Rob is drinking right now. We will get there, I promise you. But what is in your pint glass right now?
Oh, I have our Space Dingo. It's our Cucumber Session IPA. It's full of 3.9% with lots of Galaxy and Idaho #7 hops. Very easy to drink. And flavorful.
Excellent. That's really cool. It's amazing how many of you have kind of seen Cucumber make a major resurgence in craft beer. I think just a couple days ago I actually had a Cucumber beer. And then Jessy, I would love to know how easy or difficult is it to brew with that?
Not bad, honestly. I mean, I personally don't put it in the boil because I feel like that'll just be like squash, like boiled squash. But what I do is I peel the cucumbers and then I blend it up, freeze it, and then I add it to my secondary fermentation part of the beer. Yeah. That sounds good.
Excellent. But then we have to go back to Rob because you gentlemen were able to, and I know most of you have tried this. Steve and I haven't. We have to get up to Orlando to get this one of these years. You are currently drinking Chug Life, which is, shall we call it the official Chuggers beer? How do we want to describe that?
This is the first beer that was made for Chuggers.
I'm going to put that on full screen.
Yep,
There
we
you
had
go.
Charles actually reach out to us from Broken Strings, and he said, "Hey, I want to make a Chuggers beer," and we said, "Wow, that sounds incredible." So we spent the day over at his brewery, and we did your job, Jesse. We went out there and we brewed.
Yeah.
Chris was there, and I got to stir the mash, and I did a horrible job, and he took over and everything.
I think you did a great job.
Just drank. We didn't.
Well, that's the beautiful part about that.
It turned out to be a great Kolsch. What is it? It ended up at 4.2, 25 IBU. And we had a release, was it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, we had a can release. And from what I understand, Chris, you might know we're pretty much out, right? Are we about sold out of this now?
Yeah, the 4-packs are almost gone. I think there may be a handful left. I really hope there are because I'm out personally because I gave all mine away. So I got to go get more. The half barrel that we had on tap actually kicked in about 2.5 hours.
Wow.
So we blew a half
amazing.
barrel in 2.5 hours. That makes me feel, well, it's a little sad and great at the same time. I mean, that's awesome. So I love it.
That's a lot of beers.
And I also find it interesting that you went for a Kolsch, which I personally love the style. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I completely understand why you went there for a beer almost specifically designed to chug. But it also sort of kicks the trend because you would assume that, most of the cheap beers are Pilsners, or you want to go the hype train and do a double IPA or something. Why was Kolsch the one that you settled on?
Because it's an ale, so it's shorter time. Literally, I mean, it was supposed to be a light lager, and then we got to discussing with Chris and everybody, and it was, look, it's just going to take too long. And so we went with a Kolsch instead. And I was fine with it because I like that stuff. She's gone. Where'd she go?
The elusive Jess, in and out.
She's gone again. But no, it was the perfect alternative for what we needed, right? A perfect chug beer. And honestly, I'm happy with it, man. It's good.
It's really good. So one of the best Kolsch's I've had. I mean,
I wonder if cans and obvious label art issues aside, whether this is something that Broken Strings may keep on their taps on a regular basis.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
From what Charles has told me, he'll keep this. This is like his taproom Kolsch. He's gonna keep it rolling. I think the cans, and Chris, you could probably correct me on this one, but I think these cans, that was pretty much a one-time deal. For obvious reasons, we don't want to risk anybody at all.
Yeah.
So
no, man, we reached out to them. We told them this is an homage to your beer. Yeah, they were cool with it.
You had to
Interesting.
They were.
label was free, so it was fine.
We're waiting on the C&D. It'll come.
Well, it sounds like the C&D is going to.
That's all, dude. Like, all he wants is like a C&D and like a couple cases of Miller Lite. That's it. We promise we'll never make it.
I'll
again.
even do without the couple cases of Miller Lite. I just want.
I'll take the cases of Miller Lite.
I'll buy $6. I'll buy you a case.
Oh, that's amazing. And it almost sounds like, unfortunately, the cases or the beer is going to be gone by the time the C&D shows up, so there won't be any kind of no harm, no foul.
That's literally the plan. We really hope that that's the case.
So I kind of want to talk.
Technically, we sold the beer can, and the sticker was free.
Oh, well, there you go.
Right?
Okay, that works. Does that mean that there are more stickers around?
I have no idea. Actually.
I am sure there's free stickers somewhere. Hey, she's back.
Chris doesn't
I'm
want.
back. Let's see how many times I'm going to do this today.
Yeah, it works. Well, I was going to say.
On every single time.
I'm sorry.
It's actually good that she's back because I was going to ask the question because obviously you've got more than one brewer that's a part of the group, and Broken Strings kind of did the first go around. Is this something that maybe you'll hop to brewery, and maybe Fat Point will be next for the next Chuggers beer?
Oh,
Jesse, do you have? Jesse, do you have any sort of ideas for what you do for Chuggers round 2?
Yeah, absolutely. How about a nice 15%er of an imperial stout? That sounds great.
Ouch. I don't want to put holes in people's stomachs. Though,
Yeah.
She wants you to die. That's
But there's
why.
IVs everywhere.
I was talking, just saying.
So, and straight up, the thought is, Charles kind of kicked. He really did. We talked about doing a beer, but Charles reached out to us and said, "Hey, I want to do this." And there, believe it or not, I would say most of the bigger breweries in Florida are in Chuggers. We have tons of breweries in Chuggers, and there are other breweries reaching out to us and say, "Hey,
Really?
let's do this one, or let's talk about it."
I mean, the real issue. It's not even an issue. Like we've had Tampa Bay Brewing, and we've chatted because I work for them. Fat Point, Big Storm. The conversation has been taking place, but you have to look at where the main base is, and it's in Orlando.
Yeah.
I can't really answer for Jesse, but I can in a sense. There's not a whole lot of Chuggers in Tampa. That whole area. They're just.
And
I
even
don't know what it is.
down south more. I'd love to host it. That would be awesome. Have like a brew day and all that fun stuff. But you're not wrong, Jeremy. It's like
We want, and we don't want you sitting on beer, right? So the idea was to be able to kick this beer as soon as possible. So we need to kind of brew it where the crowd is.
Yeah.
It obviously we could put it into distribution as long as we don't use the Chug Life logo. But that's asking a lot for a brewery to do, because Broken Strings did everything. We did literally nothing other than Rob stirred a pot a couple times, and that was it.
And drank.
And so you just want to be careful. I definitely don't want a brewery sitting on beer, man. So
It would. Yeah. Well, we can figure something out. But I love that idea and that camaraderie and everything. That's why I like Chuggers. Everyone's talking over doing degenerate things.
she's like, I don't know, 15% stout. So good Lord.
Hey, at least, but it's got to have lactose and marshmallows and
I
chocolate.
can't drink it. So that's
Chocolate
I would not.
thing.
My Grimleys would kick in.
But Jesse actually brings up a good point in that it's not just about the beer. And you kind of mentioned this earlier, that there's a lot of community aspects. There's a lot of talking about the members being open with their mental health and open with the kind of day that they had, positive or negative, or Jeremy, being open with what you're smoking on the weekends and that beautiful Chug
I don't do that.
cabin.
Barbecue.
I don't do that.
But it's interesting that there is a big community aspect that goes beyond just the drinking. Is that something that you sort of expected, or has it really taken you by surprise?
Well, originally it was supposed to be, not supposed to be. Originally the idea was to get the brewing community together, and then it just blew up even bigger than that. COVID really obviously helps a lot.
We more than doubled it with the COVID.
But yeah, we wanted the breweries to feel comfortable and I hate to say this, but a safe place where they wouldn't be judged for their beer. I don't want somebody saying, "Oh, this beer sucks, I'm going to drain for it." That's not what we're here for. We're here to just chug beers and have a good time. So
Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, how often do any of you kind of use it just to sound off and get stuff off your chest?
I
As
don't.
long as you're chugging afterwards, I don't care. Probably every day.
Jesse in a remodel of her house.
Yes. Vacation renovation.
And there's a whole new sport involved as well. Okay, so you've got your ninja chugging, you've got your sniper chugging, you've got your sandwich chugging. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I need a description of these. Obviously,
on this.
Yeah, exactly. So clearly, I kind of understand the ninja chug, which is chugging with your target behind you, so that they don't see the fact that you just chugged behind their back.
You gotta be close, like within 5 to 6 feet though. And
So
you gotta
arms
do it with
length.
your own phone.
Okay.
You have to be holding the phone like a selfie style. Do your ninja chug. you know, when you're done, you're going to turn around, you're going to hand him that glass. He's going to feel like an asshole for getting him chugged.
Chris, what do we have? What do we have there?
Dude, something's like
What do we have here?
Oh, huh.
Little pumpkin ale, right?
Yeah.
Crafted by Jesse's own hands. Haven't tried this yet.
Nice.
I was supposed to get one of those, but I never got it.
Man, just seeing that, I know I've got to burn most of it out there in the garage. It sounds really good right now, too. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
But then we also have sniper chug. So sniper is when I give my phone to somebody over there. I'm gonna get behind Jeremy. I'm gonna do that chug, and the camera's getting it over there, and no one knows it. It's a sniper. And then I hand it to him, and I make him look at the camera and say hi.
And the idea is because the sniper always has a spotter, so essentially you have a spotter. That's the idea. And then, of course, the names, a lot of these names, they're just making it like Ninja Chug was like a Toph thing. Like he came up with that, and then people were doing like 30 feet away, and then Toph got mad, as he should have, and was like, no, it's got to be within 5 feet, and nobody else cared. And then I decided to become Judge Dredd and institute rules and laws.
You've got your Sandman chug, which you could probably guess is chugging while somebody's sleeping, and then waking them up at the end of it. That's that. Anything else that you think of off the top of your head?
Man, there's a lot. I have no idea. People are making up this weird one, which I actually like. There's like a puppet chug where like you come up behind somebody with their arms and they have to chug for you with their arms.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. They're just doing their own thing at this point. So let them.
And, you know, we don't have any rules in chuggers. Our rules in chuggers are, number one, no politics, no religion. Don't be a dick. Excuse my language. You know, you don't want to make anybody uncomfortable for being there. And I guess just respect. You know, don't disrespect anybody, and don't start crap. Don't advertise. Don't post that stupid Snoop Dogg video into chuggers.
Oh yeah, he's gonna give me $1 billion.
Yeah. So, otherwise, do your thing. You know, unless you're doing lines of cocaine, we're not going to allow that in chuggers either. But you know, do your thing and have fun. That's it.
Please do.
Only just one line of cooking.
One line's okay. Not
One line's okay.
There you go. Perfect adjunct for your next Imperial Stout. There's the Chuggers beer. Fresh with cocaine. There you go. So obviously I kind of want to mention, because you have grown to over 5,000 people in this group, which is remarkable because the only way to get in is to be nominated by somebody who is in the group, which is where I have to say hi to Jamie and Jennifer from the Sanford Brew crew, who are the ones that dragged me in kicking and screaming, which of course I then grabbed Steve and dragged him in kicking and screaming. So
you guys love this group.
So I guess, what are your plans for the future? Obviously, I know that you do want to sort of promote the group and grow it, obviously, but are you still going to keep it sort of private? What are you really looking at or hoping?
You can find it.
So yeah, it kind of changed a little bit. So before COVID, let's say maybe around the end of last year or something, the Chuggers group was 100% private, and you had to be brought in through a friend, like you said. Facebook made a change to their group settings that allowed you to keep a group private, but also let that group become searchable in Chuggers. So if you're not on Facebook, so if you're not in the group, you can search the word Chuggers and it comes up on Facebook. You can't see anything within it until you request access. And when you request access, you have some questions you have to fill out. And then our team of admins and moderators, we look at it, nitpick it, and decide if we're going to let you in or not. Which, just kidding. We let everyone in as long as there's no obvious fake accounts or anything like that being brought in. But so now anybody can just search for Chuggers and get in. But before, yes, it had to be strict invite only. But I think the group change settings in Facebook, that change, I think that made a big difference for us, as well as everyone sitting at home. All the
I didn't have to talk to people and say, hey, you have to friend me on Facebook before I can let you in.
We would go to a festival and we'd meet some random stranger and he'd like, yeah, I want to join Chuggers. Okay, let me friend request you real quick and then I can get you in. It was a nightmare. So this change that they made was way better for it. And I'm sure it's better for all the groups out there. So.
That's amazing. That's definitely cool. And I guess in terms of the group, we did say that it is very Central Florida based, kind of I-4 corridor from Orlando east. Where are some of the craziest places that you've had requests to join the group from?
You know, it's really funny you asked that because the past 10 minutes I've been trying to find it in their this new interface that Facebook is using. I stumbled across it yesterday, but it's not in there. But we have people in like all over the place. I mean, we've got people in Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Australia, the United Kingdom. There was somebody posting in Ireland. I have no idea who that is.
We got a guy from New Zealand.
New Zealand, we've got Germany. I mean, they're everywhere. Obviously, the majority is the United States and Florida, for that matter. But I mean, we're all over the United States. We just have these random dots like all over the world. It's no idea. You know, it's friend of a friend, I guess. But it's pretty wild to see people from. So yeah, so he found it on his phone.
Yeah, the top 5 countries, obviously U.S., United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and Ireland.
So it's wild. Just some little brainchild we had is just gone like that. It's amazing to us.
That is kind of awesome. Chris, I have to say, how is the pumpkin beer treating you?
It's a good pumpkin beer. No, it's good. Probably a huge beers. I'll try them every year. There are a couple that I actually stick out every year because they're that good. But normally I think they make them. I'm not sure what they're going for, but I think they quite hit. But this is one of the better ones.
All right.
I'll take it.
Do you get a lot of people, especially Jessy, do you get a lot of people that come in, obviously, because not just because they want, craft beer in Charlotte County, but because they sort of know you as kind of a minor celebrity and want to meet you just because of the Chuggers group?
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily I do get some people, mom, that will come in and just come see me, and then sometimes I'll try to get her to chug a beer with me, but that doesn't happen. But I do get some people come in because they know me, and sometimes I'm like, no thanks. But no, most of the time it's just for, we're the first brewery in Charlotte County. We're one of 2. And I still get people come into the tap room asking for a Bud Light. So that's my demographic.
Okay.
I asked for. You said orange can. I said Bromosa. Sorry.
Okay. He's trying to get a beer from his son.
I asked my son to grab me a beer. I asked him for a Bromosa because Jessy made me think of it, and he grabbed me the wrong beer.
How rude of him. Round up.
Yeah, that makes me think once we get off this, I have to crack open a 3-year-old can of whatever that Lightning Lager was that Big Storm released for the Lightning's 25th anniversary. LG doesn't want me to do it, but I have to because I've been waiting.
You know what? You're grown.
I don't think you should
do what you want.
Well, I was gonna say maybe I'll chug that, and if I survive the experience, post a video on Chuggers.
You'll be fine, dude. I've chugged 5-year-old beers. You're gonna be just fine.
But that leads me to the question: what is the strangest thing that you have chugged on this Facebook group?
We don't do it. There's a guy named Nathan Ringer that probably does the nastiest stuff on the planet. I mean,
we're not talking about beer here. We're talking about.
Wasn't he the one who chugged 2 24-ounce cans of Four Loko at once?
Was that Ben? Maybe.
Is he alive?
He chugged beans.
he chugged beans.
He chugged beans.
Oh.
And
no,
what was
wait,
he made with
he chugged beans. I don't know. Somebody chugged beans, and then I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, that's not me, so I don't know. I didn't do anything like that. I don't think I've ever chugged anything weird like that at all.
I haven't either.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna check on.
Okay.
Oh,
he's chugging a beer. I have no idea.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's the weirdest thing I saw was the dude doing beans.
Okay, so
it's kind of gross.
Proper shotgunning technique, only because I have never shotgunned a beer myself, which I'm sure somebody's going to try and change.
Fix that.
I know. Well,
We're gonna have
Steve,
to
you were in the Navy.
I was
Raina.
actually each other shotgun and funnel at the same time. Like this, we can do this.
Yeah.
I'm like 10 minutes from your house.
So he does the sideways technique, whereas
All right.
I do straight up, which is called the devil's shotgun.
Oh, could that get more tangerine over time? That's awesome. Woo. That was nice. Jesse, I love that too.
That was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
Oh, yeah,
so
we
we
got
come to
volume
the other
chuggers,
thing
too.
that I'm afraid of. You got what?
We have volume chuggers. What's our record in the
Oh.
club, in the group?
67 ounces,
67 ounces.
I think.
Ooh, well,
That's just about a six-pack at once.
Oh my!
And we have six-pack chuggers too, but they'll do 6 cans in one video with over a minute or two. But that volume is like a massive pitcher. Wow, that's nuts.
That's nuts.
I couldn't do it.
So
Yeah.
Big
So I
nuts.
guess we will come to the other thing that's amazing about Chuggers, which are the call-outs. And these sort of forced
what are those?
chug.
Well, there's a running joke that Jeremy doesn't pay any call-outs, but he's getting a little different about that. He's actually hung up a chalkboard.
It's
Yeah.
chalkboard in my barbecue shack that I've only done it once.
So here's the thing: call him out. He's going to write your name on
Call
the
me
chalkboard.
out. I'll write your name down on the board, and I'll answer your call out.
Yep. And I try to answer call-outs when I can. I mean, you can imagine Jeremy and I, well, not so much anymore, but we get called out a lot. I mean, my daughter, I think, calls me out 15 times a week. So I couldn't possibly pay all that back. I mean, she does, but whatever. Yeah, so the whole thing was, just call out. Call out your friends, make them chug a beer. And a lot of people get a little shy on camera. I know I was 100% shy. I wasn't the type of guy to sit in front of my I'm a grown ass man. Why am I going to sit in front of my camera and record myself chugging a beer? But you do it a couple times, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and you try to come up with different ways, with different backgrounds, or you start talking crap about your car or whatever you're interested in, or sports, and it makes it so much fun.
yeah.
Props.
That's-
Yeah,
so I guess
Nathan Ringer and his mask is incredibly super serious jugs.
Those are great.
Yeah,
Super serious.
and I'm sure Halloween's coming up again. We're gonna have a lot of that too.
I'm a little amazed. I've been kind of looking at our comments and expecting somebody to put in a call out, but luckily enough, nobody's done it just yet. So, which is great because I don't have a full
Well,
beer in
now
front
you
of
had
me
to say
to actually chug.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Well,
don't call me out. I just shotgun that damn 16 ouncer. I need a little
yeah,
while.
I know. Not saying anything to anybody.
Well, we're on the subject. Get a call out from yesterday, so I will chug her pumpkin beer.
Oh, thank you. There we go.
I don't even know this was live.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I'm very impressed.
Did you share it one?
Steve, how much chugging did you do in the military? Do I even want to know?
A lot. Way more than I should have. I probably should be dead at this point, at least once.
You were also stationed in downtown Boston, of all places. So,
Ooh.
Yep. Yeah. Lots of great times. 10 a.m. Boston beer tours at Sam Adams and pitcher after pitcher. Always a good time.
oh, that's nuts.
I'll
Luckily,
chug
the
a Sam
freedoms
Adams.
always brought us home.
You have chugged, or you will chug a Sam Adams?
I'll chug a Sam Adams. I chug Sam Adams when I go on
That's
cruises.
easy.
I chug Corona when I go on cruises. I chug Mojito.
I showed you Utopias. Not the whole thing, obviously.
We did that together.
That's an expensive
We
jug.
finished off with Utopia.
Wait, what'd you say?
Utopias is the expensive jug.
Dude, essentially it was like a shot of it, but yeah.
Right.
It was 2009.
Nice.
So yeah. I didn't pay for it. Come on. Who pays for beer?
Some of us don't work in the industry. We still pay for the damn beer.
Hey, Jesse, we don't.
Hint. Some of us have to pay for beer. Hint.
I don't care. This is my problem to bear.
It's a struggle.
Never realized how much of a lightweight I am before this conversation, so I feel inadequate in many ways. So
I still think that you should do your first shotgun on this film. You should do that.
on this, I guess here's the question. First of all, I don't have a beer in front of me. I mean, I've got this, but it's almost done.
I've seen your beer fridge. You're fine. You have plenty of beers to choose from.
Yes, but the beer fridge is on the other side of the house, and you know that. You know I have multiple beer fridges. Anyways,
I do have a question. So
yeah,
we're all drinking beer here, except for Jeremy. He's doing water. You know, I've had a couple. Chris, how many beers have you had?
Bro, he's
35.
He's like, shut up, it's a long day at work.
Last day of the quarter.
Yeah, okay, understood. Understood.
okay. Apparently,
Steve just left. Like, I got a good beer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, drinking the good stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's amazing that everybody's going for the 16-ounce tall boys. It seems like that is becoming the standard in a lot of ways in brewing.
Well, Jeremy can probably speak more to it than I can. I mean, the tall boys.
We all know the same thing. If you got 12 ounces of beer, you'll be buying it. Like, they want 16s. They feel. I think it's a value thing. They think they're getting a better value when it's essentially the same amount of beer. Ultimately, but it's an optics thing. I like it. I like the 16 ounce. So
Yeah, I prefer tall boys.
I fall for it. Give me some pounders, bro.
All right, Steve, what are you doing? I expected a shirt. Oh, yeah. I got my Steve beer. I actually drank my Steve beer already. I love doing this because it looks just like him.
It kind of does.
It looks just like him.
Gotta
Go to the brewery in Pompano. They have a big picture of me on the wall.
Did I ever get a picture of you in front of that big picture? I feel like I should have.
Probably years ago we did.
You know, it needs to happen again. So, oh gosh. So we're getting close to the end. I'm gonna go chug that lightning beer, which is probably going to give me a prehensile tail. I'm not totally sure.
It won't, I promise. You can see some floaties in the glass. You'll be okay.
But I guess we'll go around. And what's the best thing about the Chuggers group that you want people to realize and hopefully come in and join the group and enjoy because of?
Let me start. I say, you know, it sounds a little cliche, but the camaraderie, man, the family type, you know, the atmosphere. You could say what you want about what you know, as long as you abide by those little couple rules. But you could vent. It's a personal blog, man. I love what it's become. It went from just chugging beer to people being able to vent about anything they want and enjoying their evening with a cold drink of some kind.
For me, man, it's about getting folks to see the breweries that like to have a good time. I think a lot of, especially in maybe the mid 2000s, there was this idea that beer needed to go a wine route. You know, sip and swirl with pinkies out. And I hated that part of beer. I felt I was living in New Orleans. Beer's supposed to be fun. Why couldn't we do cornhole? Why can't we do beer pong? You know, why can't craft beer do those things? And I think Chuggers that's the idea behind it. Like the soul of it is to say, you know, we can have fun. And we do. And so I think that's the idea. And I think that most people understand that. And I think they're having fun doing that. It's great to get people who have never been in a craft beer bar ever to go to a craft beer bar or a brewery and hang out. Like, I know some of these Chuggers events where people are going to breweries and they've never set foot in a craft brewery ever. And now they're getting to experience these things. And I think that's pretty cool.
especially when they're trying to ninja chug people like that.
Yep.
Jesse or Chris, who's up next?
Jessy is.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree with Rob. I love the camaraderie. I'm meeting and talking to people who, are just like on the other side of the screen drinking the same beers that I like. I'm a workaholic. I love to work. I love to make money. As much as I would love to go out and go to different places, I think it's really cool to interact with people who are on the other side of the state and from the comfort of my own kitchen. But other than that, yeah, I like chugging beer and I like talking to new people and nice people in general. I mean, that's like one of the number one rules is don't be a dick. So I'm not talking to dicks.
Absolutely.
And other than that, yeah, that's what it is. I like talking to people. I like chugging beer. Can't go wrong with that.
You're going to have to wait on
I
Chris.
was going to throw to Chris. Yep, exactly.
Chris, what do you like about Chuggers,
Chris,
man?
take us home.
Well, I'm gonna echo what Jeremy said. Beer is supposed to be we're wine weirdos, and I have friends that are gays. No disrespect to them, but for the longest time, I ranted that, dude, why are people trying to suck the fun out of beer, especially craft beer? The weird names, the crazy label. These are the things that we're supposed to be about. We're supposed to have fun with it, and that's what I try to do. That's what I like to do, and I've met people Chuggers because of Chuggers. There's so many people that recognize me from Chuggers. I'll be out someplace, people I don't even know come up. Hey man, we saw you. Let's hang out. Let's chug a beer. All right, cool. Let's chug a beer, man. Let's get down.
The shit gets creepy though. Not gonna lie.
I'm
They
sure.
were like, "Hey, bro, what's going on?" I'm like, "I have no idea who you are." And then you're like, "Oh, Chuggers. Okay, never mind."
Yeah, I think the first time that I actually met y'all, Rob and Jeremy, was at the Badass Beer Festival,
Yes,
and I
you
knew
will.
y'all.
Yep, you
I think
did.
that was the
You
first
didn't
time
chug
that-
me.
Gotta, if you're gonna go, you might as well go after the big prize rather than the small one.
About faith.
Is that a fat joke? Or?
We're fat. That's what happens.
It's awesome. And with the Chugger stuff, it strung into a whole bunch of merchandise, shirts, koozies, pop sockets for your phone. I mean,
Pop sockets make ninja chugs easier, bro.
it's cool because you throw a shirt on, you walk into one of these bars, especially in Central Florida. You walk into a bar, your back of your shirt says Chuggers across the back. Somebody in that bar has seen or heard of Chuggers, and it's usually a conversation starter.
It makes selling beer really weird, though. And I'm walking around with a mask, and it says Reef Donkey on it, and I'm like, nobody knows who I am, and I'll walk into it. I just walked into a place last week. I never met these people in my life, and I just made a joke. I was with Tack, Jessy,
Okay.
and they gave her one of your Fat Point pumpkin. And I made the joke. I said, "Hey, man, just make sure you shotgun it." And the lady was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll do that in Chuggers." I was like, "What the fuck? Like, you're in Chuggers?" Jesus Christ. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we got the guy in the back. He works in the back. He's in Chuggers, too." I was like, "Oh, my God, this is crazy."
All the time.
It's weird, dude. Like, it's cool as hell. Don't get me wrong. But it's like this group is, especially in Central Florida, you're like, everybody knows about this damn group.
Well, I will leave it at that. It's kind of an amazing place to end on for such an awesome group. Thank you all so much for coming on the show. Next week we will be back. We are heading up to Apalachicola. We're going to be chatting with the owners and brewmasters at Oyster City Brewing Company in Apalachicola, I do believe. Haven't actually been able to get up there yet, unfortunately, but we're going to have them on the show. What was that?
Oyster City.
Yeah.
I love the Hooter Brown. Great beer.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to try some of their stuff pretty soon. I'm excited. And then the week after that, we're actually going to be chatting with Mother Kombucha from St. Petersburg. They actually sent down some of their kombucha spiked seltzer, which has no alcohol, so it's still good for chugging, but
absolutely it's healthy.
That. Yeah, it's actually really, really good stuff too.
Whatever that means.
Right. Thank you so much for coming on the show. If you've been watching us, thank you so much. If you haven't been watching us, then just we'll make you chug a beer. It's perfectly fine. I've got a date with a 3-year-old blonde ale. We'll see how that happens. And we will see you all next week. Thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.